Hello everyone! For our new friends who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Belzer and I'm the art teacher. Here's a few of my favorite things. I love the color teal, my dog Ginger, I love to sew, and I love to read. I also love my family, Melanie and Amelia, and there's Ginger, and there's Mr. Belzer. We just celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary together. As you can already see, this school year is going to look a little bit different. Let's start with looking at how art room procedures have changed. Virtual friends, you'll stay logged into your teacher's class Zoom account. Make sure that you're ready to learn for art and have your art materials ready. In-person learners will be wearing a mask to art class. Remember to keep it on and try not to touch it. When we enter the art room, in-person friends, this is how we're going to be entering. Wait to be greeted, standing 6 feet apart, carrying your Chromebooks. Take your turn getting your hand sanitizer, and then head straight to your table spot. Sanitizing our hands before and after art is going to be an important part of our day. Let's see how Melanie and Amelia handle sanitizing their hands while carrying Chromebooks. Notice how they set them down carefully, and they're still holding their hand sanitizer. Once the Chromebooks are set down, then you're free to sanitize your hands. Nice job, ladies. For friends in person and virtual, sitting in your spot is going to be an important part. You want to stay at your seat and make sure that we're remembering our respectful, responsible, and super safe behavior this year. Let's take a closer look at what that means. Notice we're not sitting at the rug this year. Everyone will be getting instruction at their table spot, and the Chromebooks are something new this year. We're going to be using Chromebooks in art class along with the Art Google Classroom. So both in-person and virtual learners will want to log in at the beginning of each art class. During the instruction, Mrs. Belzer will be passing out the art materials. Due to safety reasons, Mrs. Belzer is the only person who can pass out the materials. So you will be staying at your spot and your sketchbooks and art kits will be delivered to you. For our virtual friends, you'll want to be muted during the lesson. So that's the beginning of art when Mrs. Belzer is talking. If you have a question, simply unmute and say my name to get my attention. For in-person friends, you need to make sure that your voice is off whenever somebody else is talking. Raise your hand if you have a question and wait for me to walk over to you. That way our virtual friends can hear your question on my microphone. If more than one person is talking at the same time, it's really hard for the virtual learners to hear us. Let's take a look at how this is. Melanie and Amelia both have a question, and they're not going to shout out. They're going to wait until I walk over. I lean close so Melanie can ask her question. Make sure you ask loud enough so the virtual learners can hear you. Remember, your hands and items need to be to yourself at all times, in-person learners. We want to make sure we're being germ safe. Part of keeping your hands and items to yourself means that you're not getting up to sharpen your own pencils or get your own supplies. If you have a dull pencil, make sure you've used both in your kit. If they're both dull, raise your hand for Mrs. Belzer. Remember, no sharing of art supplies at all this year. Everyone has their own art supplies in their own kit. It's time for cleanup. Let's see what that's going to look like. You're going to clean up your space, but you need to stay in your seat. So the girls are packing up their items and stacking them nicely on the edge of the table, closing Chromebooks and showing that they're ready to go. Virtual learners, make sure you clean up your space at home as well. At the end of class, virtual friends, you guys can take a 5-minute screen break while your in-person classmates transition. In-person friends, when you are cleaned up and your supplies are picked up, you are going to wait at your seat until I call you to line up. Remember, when we're lining up, we're carefully holding our Chromebooks and standing distanced from our classmates. We know things are going to look and feel different, but you guys, We can do this. We are here together to make some beautiful things. Let's make it a great year.